Hello and welcome back to Blood, Sweat and Pears, a real village vodcast brought to you by the lovely people of the Lamb and Flag. We are back this week to talk everything Worcestershire cricket, from everything from the top tier of Worcestershire men's rapids through to the women's rapids, as well as everything at the wonderful world of grassroots cricket. Now, the astute people amongst you watching, listening, will realise that I am not Jim. This is normally Jim's role, mainly because I'm not as good as him, but also far more attractive. So in Jim's absence, I have taken the mantle this week. But it is not all bad news, because we have not just one guest for you this week, we have two guests. I'm delighted to be joined by Worcestershire women's rapids players Bryony, Gillgrass and Gwen Davies. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having us.
No, not a problem at all.
Yeah, I'm pretty well, thank you.
Excellent. We've got loads to talk about. We're going to go through the normal stuff we go through, but I think while we've got you both here, it would be a brilliant time to let people know and let them into the world of women's cricket a little bit, and how things have been for you guys, the transition that's been happening since you guys have been involved in the women's setup. I guess maybe just a brief summary, how have things been this year? How have things gone? Give us a quick wrap up of how things have been in camp and how things are.
I'll let you start.
Yeah, I think it's so frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're not happy. No one's happy to lose, are they?
No.
So I think it's sort of, we're in the stage now where we're trying to figure out how we're going to get out of this little funk that we're in. And what we can all do sort of like individually and collectively to try and get us in the right direction. I think we started to show signs, didn't we, in Northants in the second game here. And then little bits were popping out against Leicester on Sunday, but there's still sort of things that we're sort of like letting ourselves down a bit. So
we've struggled to click in everything. We've either bowled and fielded really well, batted quite poorly, batted well, and then let ourselves down at the end. Nothing's quite clicked all together yet.
But I would say within that, and with the guys who've watched it and we've all been quite close to it, it's not through a lack of endeavour or hard work. Everything's almost there, isn't it? But when you're not quite firing on all cylinders, and one of those areas, you're batting, you're bowling, or you're fielding, isn't up to standard, at tier 2 you are going to get punished, and that kind of is what's happened so far, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's sort of, we have the right conversations, and we say the right things in team meetings and sort of group discussions, and you know, those cliche words of taking accountability, taking responsibility being thrown around. But we actually had an honest conversation this afternoon as a batting group, and we were sort of like, we keep saying it, but like, actually, how are we going to do that? Yeah. How are we actually going to take accountability and going to take some responsibility individually, so that we're all pushing in the right direction? So we sort of set each other a challenge this week, and so by the time we get to the hotel Thursday night next week,
a week Thursday,
we'll see if people have done it.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned about the batting stuff in particular. Obviously, that's your guys' kind of areas mainly. There's been lots of lots of starts, lots of good bits. The doubleheader here against Northants in the afternoon, people got going. I know you took the game by the scruff of the neck a little bit when you were playing some reverse sweeps early doors. Is that part of your thinking? Is this what you're maybe alluding to ahead of the next game? Is try and find ways, if you're under a bit of pressure, to open the scoring a little bit and to take the attack to oppositions rather than let them dictate?
Yeah, I think it's sort of something we've talked about as batters, is that, you know, you as a captain, if you go to the bowlers, you go, right, what are you doing here? What's your plan? So why is the same conversation not happening with the batters? Okay. So it's sort of like taking responsibility as batters. So in that second game, I thought, right, against an off spinner going away from me, a reverse sweep is a really good option because I'm going with the spin. And because there wasn't much pace on the ball, I've got time to turn around and do it. So it was more like a, you know, sort of effort, back yourself, you know that's a good option, just do it. If it doesn't come off, you sort of, you know, Ed as a head coach is going to go, well, we agreed that was a good option, and your execution was just poor, that's it, you know, end of conversation. Where at the moment, I think there's been a few games where a few of us have come off and gone, I didn't actually know what my plan was there. So I think it's putting ourselves in that situation where whatever bowler comes on, and say, for example, Brian and I are batting together, we can say to each other, this is what I'm going to do to this bowler, or, you know, I don't think we should do this against this bowler, or whatever.
And then as a group, we've decided this afternoon, if we each put down those specific plans for each of us, we can look at each other's, and then if Gwen's having a bit of a panic in the middle, can't think of what to do, I can go, you've said you're going to do this. And we can help each other out in the middle. That's
really interesting, because that's not something, and you're right there, Gwen, when you mentioned it, that not people don't necessarily think of batting plans, batting, because you just play what's in front of you is the general mantra, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you're in the field, when you're in the ball, you can see those conversations or every delivery, change of field, adjust this, line length. So that's really interesting. And is that something that you guys have a group have come up with, or is that something that's been directed by Claire, by Ed? Is that something that's been driven by?
I'd say Gwen's been main leader of it.
Okay.
You're very meticulous with your notes before the game, aren't you?
In the past couple of years, I have become very meticulous with my sort of like planning, but it's just something that I experienced in the 100, and it's something I took away from that experience of actually, you can't just walk out to bat and go, okay, we'll see what I get. Yeah. And it sort of came out of thinking we played Manchester Originals at Old Trafford. And sort of the reputation that Old Trafford's got, it's built for spinners. It doesn't really skid onto the bat, doesn't really bounce that much, but it turns square. Yeah. So as a batter, you're thinking, running down the wicket and trying to hit over the top, is that really a good option? Probably not. It's going to turn past me. Yeah. So sort of I had this conversation with someone the night before the game, and I thought, oh my God, he's got a point. And I went out the following day and literally just swept out of it. Sorry, excuse my French. But it came off.
Lasted a good 5 minutes.
But it came off, and I built an innings, and ended up saving the game. And I think because we were 80 odd for 7, something like that, when I went to bat, and I thought, okay, well, this is what I talked about the night before. The wicket allows me to do it. They've got left arm spin after left arm spin after left arm spin. So I thought, all right, let's try it. And it came off, and I literally just went normal sweep, reverse sweep, normal sweep, reverse sweep, and it was boring, but it came off.
But it was effective.
And it was effective.
Yeah.
So little things like that, maybe not going into so much detail of going, okay, well, the pitcher's doing this, that bowler's doing that. You don't want to sort of all overcomplicate it. But literally, if we set each other a plan of, right, Bry is a left arm seamer bowling at you, what are your 2 boundary options? And she's able to go, this is where I'm standing in my crease, Gwen, and these are my options. Then we go, right, let's go for it. Yeah. And it's just having that clarity and the positivity of going, I'm going to take you on, and this is how I'm going to do it.
How are you going to do it?
Yeah. And if you're better than me in that ball, as in your skill is better than mine, then fine.
Hold your hands up.
Well played.
Something we spoke about after the Derbyshire game, we ended up letting them bowl at us. Yeah. We weren't taking the game to them, they were bringing the game to us. Yeah. Which is why I think in the second game against Northants, you went out and was like, I'm going to hit you.
This is a good option, I'm doing it.
As soon as Gwen does that, then I go out and I go, I'm going to have the same positivity. Because Gwen's had, and it just filtered down the order.
And that's infectious, that goes through the group.
Exactly.
Right?
And we just lack someone at the end who really can take us to the game. But
and we made, before the show started recording, you very kindly pointed out, Brian, that you're both at different ends of your careers. You put it in not so nice words, I'll put it in a bit of a nicer way. How are you finding things as someone at the start of your career? I know you've had an amazing start to the season, not necessarily consistently, but you've had big score, big double hundreds. You had a few weeks back. Unfortunately, been a bit difficult to translate that into the middle out here for the women's side. So give me your sort of reflections on your season so far and how you're finding things in a group in a tier 2 environment.
Learning lots is the first thing I'd say, and especially off older people. Yeah. Like Gwen. Like
wise people. Wise
heads. Wise heads. Like Gwen and Boyks. Yeah. And I think Ed's been pretty helpful with it as well. I think he understands that I am young, I'm still learning on the job. I think my thing is, I think the plans, I'm going out and just batting. I don't really think about too much in the middle. Yeah. It's got me to where I am because I've been able to, but I'm now getting found out a little bit. So I've got to learn pretty quick. Yeah. Pretty sharpish and understand my game a little bit more and understand the other team's games a bit more.
And one thing we spoke about again before we started recording was about the schedule. Now it's quite a big topic amongst everyone. It's unfortunately out of your control. It's something that is you have to just deal with and adapt to, and I guess part of that is the rigmarole of playing cricket at this level. But it's been difficult when you're struggling potentially to string momentum together as it is. And then you've got long gaps in between games. You've had a gap of 2 weeks between the first game, and then you have the doubleheader last Sunday. Then you've got a bit of time off this Sunday. You've been to Leicester. You've got another long gap ahead of you. Talk us through maybe what you're doing in that time between games and the struggles and difficulties that present to you guys as a playing group in between not being able to play.
I think we found it pretty hard because if you lose, you're then dwelling on it for 2 weeks. Whereas if you lose and you've got a game in 3 days' time, you're like, you've got to G yourself straight back up for it and you've got to go, right, we're going again. The fact we've had to go 2 weeks on the back of 2 losses is pretty tough. It gives us more time to work on it, definitely. But the time in between it's hard to build consistency when we're only playing once every 2 weeks together.
Oh, yeah. And what are you doing in the time between? I know you've had some inter-squad stuff, haven't you, previously? Is that stuff you're still doing? Are you just netting? What are you doing? Are you switching off? What's
It's it's quite hard to switch off actually when you've got. I mean, that's
I can imagine. Yeah.
pretty bad badges.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
I've heard actually through the grapevine.
But so we've had a mixture of sort of like internal games, but then most of us go and play men's cricket on a Saturday, and then obviously there's women's club cricket on Sunday as well.
Yeah.
So there is sort of cricket for us to go and play. But I think it's sort of even going, if we even were going week to week, I think that would still be quite difficult because you've got 5-6 days in between where, you know, you sat around twiddling your thumbs thinking like, come on, I want to go again. And then, I don't know about Bry, but I was texting Flora last week and I think after the Sunday, even though we played a double header, it was like Monday afternoon and I was like, why are we not playing tomorrow? Like,
Interesting.
So
I very much play every day. I can't comment.
But she's alright, she plays school cricket,
Well,
she's
you've got
okay.
it all going
School,
on.
18s, club, everything.
But so it's frustrating. And you know, I think we don't want to make excuses, but I think we've probably been the team that's been stitched up the most with the schedule. Especially like when we were knocked out of the County Cup by Northants, we had 3 weeks of no cricket, and that's just crazy.
Yeah.
And the season had only just started. So the schedule's not helped us at all. But like you said just now, I think, you know, you can only control the controllables.
Yeah.
We have to try and adapt to the schedule and try to keep ourselves busy midweek and try and do the right things that are going to get us in the best position for Yorkshire.
For sure.
So, you know, Ed's been huge on talking to us about adaptability and stop, you know, trying to find excuses or trying to point the finger elsewhere and going, how, like, you're faced with this, adapt how you're going to try and get out of this situation in a positive manner and sort of win us the game. So that's something we all have to sort of take on board and do our own kind of thing basically to make sure that we're ready to go.
Now you mentioned in that about club cricket. We are a club cricket based podcast. We love the wonderful world of club cricket, and I guess it's probably where everyone's first love for cricket comes in. You both still play club cricket. Bri, you play for the aforementioned Ashford Bank, who we seem to have every week.
We're banned apparently.
We talk about Ashford
Got the text
Bank.
earlier and went, I don't know if I'm allowed to.
I know, well this is true, we had to. We were short, unfortunately. But I'm going, you play for a team in the Warwickshire League as well. Tell me in short about what it is, and I guess it's a stark difference, but the love of cricket comes from club cricket, I presume, for both of you. What is it that makes it great? What do you love about it? There's so many stories you hear from weekends about, you know, people, you know, giving up a whole day and getting out first ball. If it's the frustration and you question sometimes why you do it. What is it that makes it such a great sport, and why you guys, I guess, ended up where you are?
Oh, am I going first? I think lots of people have referred to Hasselbank as a bit of a clique. You know, we're very close to each other. For the vibe there is unlike most clubs I've ever been to. I've been at 2 before and just haven't felt anything like it. It's literally like a family. 1s, 2s, 3, 4s, anyone. The women's team, like if we have a women's game on a Sunday, and the men don't have a Sunday 2s game, we'll have 10 of them come
That's
to watch.
Brilliant.
Like no matter where we are, home and away, they'll all come. So I think it's just pretty special to have that. Like I think lots of women's clubs around the country the men won't be together.
No, and it's actually something
segregated.
And so I don't mean to cut you off there, but yesterday we saw it at Leicestershire when you guys finished playing. You know, stuck around, watched the men's game. There's a unity there, and hopefully that's something that continues to grow and inspire. And Gwen, I'd love to hear more about how you got into the game, and you know, sometimes you question why you do it. I'm sure, pull your hair out, but where does that come from?
I think sort of Bri probably had a similar start to cricket like me, but the difference being that women's cricket wasn't really a thing when I was Bri's age. So I sort of was brought up through the men's club structure and absolutely loved it. You know, lived for it on the weekend, like was there Saturday, Sunday, and you know, Mum always used to talk about it, saying Saturdays were an absolute dreamboat for me because you were out of the house, your brother's out of the house, and so was your dad. She loved it.
Time to herself.
So Dad would take me and my brother down to the cricket club on Saturday. He'd be playing, and we'd be there, you know, helping make the tees, or we'd be scoring, or we'd be helping our uncle with the ground.
To do. Always.
Absolutely loved it. And then the best thing about a Saturday down at the club in Swansea, so it was called Clydach Cricket Club, and
that's a mouthful, isn't it?
There was old school nets there back in the day. They've changed now. But there was 2 concrete slabs.
I was about to say, what does old school nets mean?
With like a green sort of like mat basically dragged over them. But the wickets were empty beer barrels. So it was absolutely quality. If you
No.
got out, the whole ground knew about it.
Oh,
And it was
wow.
unbelievable.
The
You
noise
just
went
have this
everywhere.
massive like boom.
That's brilliant.
And it was just sort of like, so even though, after, like, obviously everyone was there to watch whatever
Yeah.
game was on the Saturday, you'd go in the club after the game.
Yeah.
And, like, you'd get the senior players sort of, like, poking fun of the kids, being like, yeah, I heard you get
I
out.
heard
So
you. That's
you must have
amazing.
missed 5 straight ones. So it's that camaraderie, basically,
Yeah.
and the sort of unity, like we've just spoken, and it's the community, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sort of, and everybody jokes it must happen, you know, across the whole country and in Wales as well. But we always, at home, we always talk about, like, the cricket club is the best beer garden
Yeah.
in South Wales.
Yeah.
Because everybody on a Saturday and a nice day, everybody wants to go and watch the cricket.
Of course.
So yeah, that's why I think for me, just absolutely loved cricket, loved team sports, like wanted to be in and amongst it, and like little things like I used to. My school bus would obviously, I was supposed to get off on the bus stop where my house was, but the cricket club was sort of like 4 stops beyond.
Okay.
And in the summer, in the midweek, I'd stay on the bus and then just get off the club and organise with 2 of my teammates, 2 of the boys being like, right, should we go straight to the club?
Yeah.
And we were just absolutely obsessed with it. So yeah, that's how it started for me. So club cricket's got a massive impact.
So the Badger title is
Oh, yeah.
is correct. That has been for some
We've been
time.
there
It
for a long,
sounds
long
like.
time.
Yeah. Are you in the same boat, right? Are you equally as Badgery?
Yeah.
Are you two in amongst the squad? Are you standouts? Is everyone
I
as
think I'd add
invested?
Phoebe Brett and Boyks in.
Yeah, Flora loves it though.
Flora does love it as
Like,
well.
Yeah. Every day, Flora will text me being like, "What do you think about this?" And it's like it's always about the cricket.
My
So,
favourite thing, Envy Play.
Envy play, yeah.
Got access to it this year 'cause
Yeah.
all our games are now streamed.
Yeah.
I'm on that.
Watch every ball.
constantly.
Yeah.
I can watch
Yeah,
every
yeah.
ball of any game around the country.
Well, Flora's
It's class.
she's bowling really well. She's
Yeah,
getting
Flora's
really good
bowled
spell.
really, really
yeah.
well. And I think on Sunday, forgot what day we played it.
Just yesterday, mate.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think she was quality in the fact that, like, it's very hard for bowlers to bowl on a wicket like that. Like, absolute road.
Yeah.
It wasn't, bowler friendly at all. Very good
No.
for the batters. Which obviously we didn't capitalise on at all.
Nope.
But Flora kept it simple and just kept it stump to stump because
Yeah.
you can't really do too much as a bowler, especially as a left-arm spinner. That you want a little bit of a turn on a wicket like that. So I think Flora's was quality. She kept the stumps in play.
Yeah, I'm going to sound like a badger now, but I think 70% or something of the balls she bowled were going to hit the
Hit the
stumps.
stumps, and that's all you want from
Bowl
your bowlers.
straight,
So
kind of stumps.
you're asking the batter to do something different. You're asking them to take the game on.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be fair, Sweets did. She took Flora on. I think she hit her for 1-6, but. Again,
It was a nice one as well.
Yeah,
Bit of risk and reward, isn't it? If
Exactly.
you're going to attack the stumps, then it's going to happen.
And that's what we were talking about earlier. Flora sort of bowled that ball going, if you've got it in the locker, try me.
Yeah.
But this is what my plan. I'm going with it. If you're better than me, then fine. And she was in that one ball. So I think Flora's is very happy with how she's bowled, to be honest. And she'd be the first one to go, okay, good shot.
Yeah.
But see if you can do it again, and she didn't. So I think that's where Flora's really good in that.
Yeah.
She always wants to put pressure onto the batter, and she's really
her
good.
consistency is just mental.
Yeah, and she's really good in the field as well. She'll come over and go, right, what do you think? I went with this plan. I don't know if it's working. What do you think?
No.
Shall I change it or shall I just keep going? And so, yeah.
And you need that sort of synergy. It creates conversation. It
absolutely.
creates thoughts maybe you weren't having, I guess, as well, and it opens up to her perspective as well.
Yeah,
So that's interesting to hear. Now, something a little bit more light-hearted. Bryony, I found out something yesterday about you.
Yeah.
Your middle name. You were in the
Lara.
middle of pestering one of the staff for their middle name. I heard yours. Can you tell us what your middle name is and what the meaning behind it is?
So my middle name is Lara.
Yeah.
So I'm Bryony Lara after the great Brian Lara.
Yeah, for sure.
My dad is just as much as a badger as I am.
They're everywhere,
Probably
aren't
a
they,
little
in the
bit
women's
less
team?
so now, but when he
Yeah.
was younger,
Yeah.
proper badger. Brian Lara.
So that's where it comes from.
Yeah, which would have made him a little bit silly. I didn't start playing cricket till I was about 10, 11. I think he was probably starting to panic.
Okay.
I played a lot of hockey when I was younger, and he was maybe starting to panic a little bit. But I finally got into it, and now the name's a bit, well, I can't say fitting yet. I'm not quite as good as him.
You're well on the way.
but-
You're showing more than the right signs for certain.
I'm trying.
All you need to do now is turn around about left-handed, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, it's true.
I'll leave that
That
to
would
you,
be
mate.
impressive, I'll give you that. Well, that seems like an appropriate time to crack on to some of the results around Birmingham, Worcester. Going through everything from the beautiful to the wild to the ugly. As per usual, there's been some fantastic cricket played across the weekend. So we'll start things off in Div 1 of the Birmingham Prem. Harborne, they were skittled out for 95. They lost to Knoll and Dorries this weekend. Barnard's Green constructed a fantabulous, that's a new word I've just created there, isn't it? They chased down 300. They won by 7 wickets. And Rayhan Edavalath chalked up a massive 152 not out. It's not a bad innings, is it? 150 chasing 300. Hales Owen, now this is the interesting one I mentioned to you earlier. They played a draw with Ombersley, but the game will be remembered for something quite obscure. Ombersley's innings, they faced 55 overs from Hales Owen. Have a guess how many extras there were?
In 55 overs?
55 overs.
55.
55 extras and 55 overs. Lower than that.
35.
The first time I've ever seen it, and the first time the umpire who stood the game has ever seen it.
0.
Not one extra in the whole innings. So not a wide, a leg by, a bye.
From Ombersley's bowling, did you say? Or
From Hales Owen's attack. Yeah. And the umpire who was there, Gary, says the first time in 11 years he's ever seen it. He showed me the card and said what's unusual about it, and I was looking through batting figures, bowling figures, couldn't work out, and then a little bit at the bottom it said 0 extras. So big shout to the boys in the Hales Owen attack. That is mighty impressive. Bart Green, they cruised to a big win over Berkswell. 3 of their top 5 made 50s as they enjoyed an absolute deck and won by 165 runs. Himley collected 17 points on their way to a draw with Moseley. Shout out to Ollie Walker for another big 150 in that game. Well battered, Ollie. And in Div 2, Starbridge and Kiddie both played out draws. They collected 17 and 16 points respectively in the process. Worcester Prem, Bryony, you played on Saturday. Again,
I tried.
For Aswood Bank. Before I give everyone the factual evidence of what happened, give me your version of events for your innings and what happened.
Don't repeat what you said to us in the hotel.
Oh really? No, please keep it PG.
PG, right. We didn't bat great.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a bit of a struggle recently to get some runs in the ones. My first game in the ones, so I'm not a ones player.
Achievement in itself, though.
Thank you.
Tip of the slipper.
Struggled to get going a little bit. Spencer, who you had on the podcast the other day, he's got a couple.
Spenny boy, what a man. Yeah, what a
guy. Just saying that, he has not taken off this cap since.
Good.
He's been wearing every single day.
Plug,
he loves it. Spencer's got a few this time this season. The captain's got a few. But apart from that, we've struggled to get runs. Boys are struggling a little bit. Bowled nicely. Took them a while to get the low target we set. But yeah, not quite far in on all cylinders with the batting.
No.
Bit similar to us right now.
Heard that before.
Yeah, maybe it's a me thing.
You girls are too harsh on yourself.
Maybe.
There's a common theme here, yeah. I've got down that Worcester Nomads won by 7 wickets thanks to their skipper Ollie Ranscombe, who was 102 not out. Well battered, Ollie. Barnt Green and Stourport, they played out a draw, but there was wins elsewhere for Redditch and Pedmore. Ombersley, they beat Lye by 58 runs, but the game of the day was Worcester CC, who won by 2 wickets against Bromsgrove. A 9th wicket stand of 38 between Gibran Khalid and Rob Goodman saw them chase down 232. That's pretty edgy stuff. 9th wicket, I like that sort of thing. The table intact looks like this in the Worcester Prem. Then Worcester CC top things, 171 points, 7 wins from their 9. Aswood Bank, I have to go a little bit further down to 8th. Guys sat on 90 points. Sorry, 3 wins so far. At the bottom of the league, Redditch and Lye in trouble as things start to take a drift from Old Elizabethans in 10th place. Over to Division 1, Burkill, Tillington and Weebly, they recovered from 51 for 4 to chase down 200. Brockhampton and Hales Owen played out a draw in the sunshine. Big shout to Jack Collins and Charlie Creswell of Colwall. They shared 10 wickets between them. Jack returned 6 for 51 and Charlie returned 4 for 30.
Jib the
Pretty
5
cool.
Yeah. Jug avoidance.
That's harsh. But they were left gutted because their efforts weren't even enough to stop them losing by 31 runs to Hagley. Netherton, the man that is so good, he's got 2 of the same name, Ashish.
Ashish,
excuse me. I tell you my pronunciation.
He whacked me around a bit last year.
So bad. So good they named him twice. He took 7 for 27. in a pretty spellbinding display. His side went on to win by 6 wickets against Barters Tree and Lugwardine, and Barnard's Green had Max Bentley's superb 5 for 21 to thank as they eased past strugglers Bromyard by 5 wickets, while Himley skittled Droitwich Bar for 63 to win by 82 runs, leaving Division 1 looking something like Bewley at the top with 169 points. They're 34 clear of Brockhampton in second. Down the bottom, Bromyard struggling this year, 33 points so far. They're 60 adrift of Bartestry and Lugwardine, who are in 11th. As we roll on to Div 2, Netherton caught the eye. Another big weekend, 350 racked up for them. They won by 99 runs against Ashford Bank, unfortunately. Not a good day for the twos either.
It wasn't a good day for
We're
the twos.
0-2 so far for Ashford Bank.
It gets better.
It does it?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Better.
We'll see further down. Daniel Raymond caught the eye with a fantastic 109 for his side. Bell Broughton can feel pretty hard done by. Their 298 wasn't enough for victory. They drew to Alvechurch and Hopwood, who hung on in the end. How do you feel? You got 300 on the board, 50 overs?
Yeah.
Don't get the job done?
I'd be happy with 300.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd feel confident going in the halfway point, wouldn't you?
100.
Even if we'd also be like, oh, well, we've got 300.
Yeah, true. It's a good little achievement. Old Swinford, they won by 8 wickets. Rushwick won by 5 wickets as 2 teams chasing totals got the job done. Mohammed Shoaib Iqbal, a wonderful name but an even more wonderful performance. He was 4 for 27 from his 15 overs, which included 5 maidens. I mean, to bowl 15 overs is pretty impressive in itself, right? That's a good spell. They set his team on a way to a 6-wicket win over Chaddesley Corbett. And the man with the sexiest name in cricket, he's back. Kamani Sexius chipped in with a wicket as his Coombs would beat Breeden, leaving the table looking something like Netherton on top with 177 points. Breeden not far behind them with 33. Chaddesley Corbett down the bottom with 59, propping things up just behind Kidderminster, who are narrowly behind Old Swinford as things get pretty close. Ashwood Bank 9th, first team 8th, second team 9th.
The threes are doing better.
Threes are doing better.
Yeah.
We look forward to hearing about the threes. We're clutching at the straws, aren't we?
Something interesting about Netherton, they're top, right? So they would get promoted, but their ones are 2 leagues above and might get demoted. So then they can't be in the same league.
Oh, wow. Well, I think Jim might have mentioned that actually a few weeks ago, that there's going to have to be a little inquiry if that happens.
Netherton is the league. Netherton 1's the league above, Netherton 2 is the league below. And they could do a switch, but obviously can't.
The ones will probably end up staying with it, wouldn't they, in that instance? They'll probably get a reprieve.
I think, no, I don't think the 2's go up, I think the 2's stay.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see. Netherton. Keep
sure.
doing your good work, Douglas.
You're fuming if you're at the 2s, weren't you?
You'd be livid. Done everything right
There's
all
a
year.
league in between,
Come
so the
on.
1's will go down and the 2's should go up into that league, but they can't.
Surely they're in the club every Saturday night thing, and come on, ones, pull your socks up.
Yeah, please give us a favour, yeah, for sure. On to Division 3. Enfield Staff 1s beat Worcester Nomads by 185 runs. Tom Downing, 112, well batted, my friend. Brockhampton 2s beat Feckenham, and Himbleton beat Droitwich 2s by 209 runs. There were 4 Avencroft Ducks in the top 7 I've got here, as Martley beat Avencroft by 8 wickets. James Ganderton stood out with 1 for 6 off 7 overs, going at less than 1 an over. Pretty tidy economy. Have any spells like that recently, Bryony? Or ever, actually, probably? That's pretty
I've
impressive.
taken 6 for 6.
Oh, really?
6 for 7, sorry, 6 for 7.
That's extremely impressive. When was that? Way back when?
2 years ago now, I think.
2 years ago.
When I just turned into an offie.
Oh, really?
It was one of the first games. It was T20, 4 overs. 6 or 7.
That's pretty impressive. And then James came back out after that pretty tidy spell. There was the big MVP for the day because he opened the batting, obviously the gun. He bowled 7 overs and then came out and sit 67 not out as his team went on to victory. There's always one, isn't there, that does a bit of everything in every team, isn't there?
He's got sore backs today.
Carrying the boys. OE2s, they beat Cookley by 9 wickets. Cookley scored 273 for 5. But 126 not out from Alex Wheeler and 102 not out from Nathan Dobbins took OE's home. A big knock from our potential future guest, Alex Wheeler, as well. Look forward to having him on if he keeps up the good form. And Stourport 2s beat 5 Ways Old Edwardians by 9 wickets to round up Div 3. In which Enfield Staff topped the log, 188 points from their 9 games so far. Old E's 2s 40 points behind. It gets pretty crowded in the middle, and then down towards the bottom we've got Droitwich Spa on 56 points, Feckenham on 58. So pretty tight at the bottom.
Have you ever played at Enfield? One of the nicest grounds in the country.
I've heard many people say that about Enville. Like picturesque, nice grounds. All you need is a good tees, and it makes it the ultimate experience.
I was going to say, you used to, like, before COVID, you used to judge a club on their tees, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Like, you always want to go to a club if they had good tees.
Where have you had the best tees? That could be for the Rapids, that could be for a club. Where does good tees? There's got to be some
Headingley treated us
standouts.
pretty nice. Start of the year.
Yeah, I've
Yeah?
also had a terrible tee.
Oh, really?
Oh, balances out.
I can only go off the
won't
one
go
experience.
into
It's pretty
that
nice.
one.
Oh no,
Uh,
we don't want any bad press.
club cricket. Where's just
Nice one.
what's that ground in Stoke? Meakins. Meakins used to have
Bit-
unbelievable
Not the
cake
nicest ground,
selection. Yeah, no, but no.
Nice.
The teas were unbelievable there.
Made up for the ground.
I
Cakes
always-
were very good.
I always think if someone goes above and beyond, they get hot food out. If you've got a hot section, or there's something hot, like
Yeah.
we've had it before. I mean, we had a 3-course meal at one dinner back home, but cakes are staple, isn't it? Get your
Yeah,
cakes
yeah.
right, you do
Good
well.
cakes, yeah.
Homemade cakes goes the
Unbelievable.
extra miles. It needs to
Oh, yeah,
Good
yeah.
cakes,
Has to be, yeah.
sandwiches and pizza.
be. Yeah,
Got to have a little bit of variety.
Yeah.
there's splits
You know-
opinion pizza on a cricket
Yeah.
tee.
Do
I
Do you not
think.
like pizza on the cricket tee?
I don't like cold pizza.
Okay.
I'm the same as you.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
rate cold
no.
pizza either, so I don't get the whole.
Yeah. I'm one of those really fussy people that I can't eat food like the day after, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so say
okay.
if I have a Chinese on Saturday night,
Yeah.
I know people like, whatever you don't eat, you put it in the fridge, you have it tomorrow. No.
So what are you doing?
No.
Just get rid of it.
Yes and bin.
I have that with pasta. I can't eat cold
So
pasta.
you have to be careful with like what you're ordering, how much you're ordering, because you don't want too much waste. Or do you have a nailed down order?
You definitely have a name.
I have a nailed down order,
What is it?
but I'd love to say that I don't waste, but yeah, I do. I just can't eat food.
It's hard.
The day after.
Chinese as well. You
Yeah,
know eyes
it's-
are bigger than belly, because you think I'll have a bit of that and I'll have a bit of that.
What should go to?
With the Chinese,
Yeah.
So it's either
This is all anyone's interested in.
Yeah.
Cricket's kind of
fair.
subsidiary.
I mean, food is like
At this
it's like-
Food.
Yeah.
It's very British. It's like chicken chow mein,
Yeah.
chips, curry sauce.
Okay. I can back that.
Can we call that a Chinese?
Well, I mean,
It's an English
Chips
Chinese,
and-
isn't it?
yeah.
yeah, but that's what I just said. But it's very British.
No. You did precursor valid. It's
Or I'll swap the chow mein out for like a special fried rice. or
okay. So
something
you've got something
like that.
a bit of Asian.
But you gotta have a bit of
heritage,
curry sauce to like eat.
Yeah.
it's too
Agree,
dry
I agree,
otherwise.
I agree,
Can't have
I agree.
Chinese
Yeah, for sure. I actually swap out when I have chicken balls, I swap out the.
Oh, you
sweet
can't
and
talk about
sour for curry
her.
sauce.
Hers
Oh, do you?
English and you have
Yeah,
chicken
yeah.
balls.
Because curry sauce is great.
Oh, well, yeah, fair. Well,
chicken
yeah,
balls.
actually, that's very English.
Yeah.
Smart. It's efficient. It stops wastage as well. We'll get back to some Disney cricket. Div 4. No, it's great. It's great. That's the clip for the week as well. It's perfect. Harborne, their first team beat Tenbury Wells by 9 wickets. 54 from Ed Kemp. And Callum Williamson, a tongue twister, bagged 80 from 75 for Harborne. This week, though, we have an undisputed Mr. Brightsider. Right. There's no. I don't think there's any conversation to be had. I'll read you the figures. James Green, I am so sorry. I also want to apologise to the scorer who was involved in this absolute mess. 1 over, no maidens, none for 38.
Ooh.
But it gets worse. He bowled 11 wides and 3 no balls. So he's bowled 6 legal deliveries. He's bowled an extra almost 2 overs, so we're up to 17 and 3 no balls. So we bowled a 20 ball over.
I don't know though. I think I'd rather that than be hit for 6 sixes in an over, because at least it's your fault if you're bowling wides.
That's quite a good question
So-
to ask. Actually, would actually
yeah.
get in touch. Would you rather be hit for 6 sixes, or
go for 38
just
'cause it's
get
your
the
own
yips
fault?
and completely
Yeah.
fall apart? Because I reckon that's probably what's happened there.
Yeah, I'd rather get hit for 6
You
sixes.
reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were at Lie the other day, and one of our bowlers went dot 6 6 6 6 6 off 1 over, and he didn't bowl again. He got 30.
Yeah, but
Understandable.
if you think about
That's
it,
awful.
you're that bowler that just keeps bowling wides, and you're like, oh my god, like ground just eat me up.
Because when you're on your own, I think top of your mark
Yeah.
and you've bowled a couple,
Yeah, I
and
guess.
the yips kick in, the sweats, the ball, like you
Yeah,
grit,
yeah.
it's just horrid. It's you on your own.
Yeah.
I think if you're out of form with a bat, you can scratch around for a bit and get something,
Yeah,
and nick
yeah.
through slip or
Yeah, I
something.
guess
or
it's probably quite detrimental.
if you're at top of your mark and things are not going your way,
Yeah, like as a batter, and it's a weird way to look
Yeah,
at it because
yeah.
you want to stay in.
of course.
But if you're really not feeling very good and like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't hit the ball, you can get yourself out.
Yeah.
You can't get yourself out.
True.
You can't get yourself out of
Like-
an over.
All
True
the way.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, James, Mr. Brightsider, without a doubt.
Sorry.
Sorry, mate. Big shout. it can't get any worse than that, basically, can it? So you've had the bad one for the year, mate. Hopefully for your career. Unlucky. Malvern Wands, they beat Romsley by 155. Now West Malvern, they won an absolute thriller against Old V's by 4 runs. Will Lloyd, he was 198 from 164. 26 fours, 9 sixes. How would you feel? 198, so he's slammed it, he's nailed it. Like, you start the day, someone says 198, you bite the hand off, right? 4 short of a double ton. How are you feeling? Bittersweet? Are you bothered? You scored 196. 198, is he?
Don't know.
One or t'other.
You said 4 short, but 198.
198 he scored. 198 he scored, apparently.
How many balls did he face in the last over? Do you know that information?
I don't know that intel. I know he was 164 in total, so he's going at a good lick.
Yeah.
Are you bothered? You've scored 190 odd.
So he's not out?
No, he was out.
Oh, that's worse.
He was out,
okay.
yeah.
If you finish 198 red, you can be like, if I'd have had another ball.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were out,
yeah,
I'll be gutted. I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I'd take 198, but
I think you would. Yeah, I think you would. Agreed. Yeah.
200 it just hits different, doesn't it, to 198?
Totally. Looks good on the card as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
well batted. Whatever way. You've nailed it there, mate. Redditch 2s beat Pershore 2s, Old Hill 2s beat Hagley 2s, and Worcester 2s beat Claverley. Claverley used 8 bowlers, which is a bit unique. You don't see that every day. Everyone apart from probably Skips, keeper, and one of the old boys that probably hasn't turned it on for a few years.
Hammies don't work.
Yeah, for sure. Division 4, Redditch top the charts. Redditch 2's 160 points. Harborne in second, following closely behind. Pretty stacked in the middle. And then we've got Hagley down towards the bottom with Old Vigornians propping things up there. Division 5, Cutnell Green versus Hales Owen, one of the greatest games on cricketing record. Ties are pretty rare on their own. But a tie when 358 plays 358 is absolutely mental. Like, that just doesn't happen in a 45 over each game. And the weirdest thing I found is no one scored 100. There wasn't anyone in either team that propped up. There was like 70s, 60s, a couple 40s. But yeah, 358 played 358. Nuts. Runs galore. Ground staff have done their job producing a wicket there. Pedmore 2s beat Bewley 2s. Eastnor 1s beat Coombswood 2s by 41 runs. Harvington 1s hammered Bromyard by 9 wickets. And Stourbridge 2s did a job over Harborne 2s. Division 5. Cutnell Green topped the charts at 153, played 9-1-6. Hales Owen following pretty closely behind. Bromyard and Barnt Green 11th and 12th. But Bewley are 85 points, tied with Bromyard. So there's 6 points between 10th and 12th. So pretty tight at the bottom there as we head towards the halfway mark of the season. And the last one, Div 6. Alverley, 1s they beat Burkill, Tillington and Weebly. Seconds by 26 runs. Pretty special day for the Twig brothers. So big shout to the Twig boys. J Twig, 174 not out. B Twig, 3 for 47. And a third R Twig, 1 over for 8. And then 12 runs batting at number 3. So not as big contribution as his brothers, but good to see all the family chipping in nonetheless. Good day for them. Belbroughton 2s beat Bromsgrove 3s by 8 wickets. And there are wins for Colwell 2s and Cookhill 1s and Himley 3s. And finally, Rushwick 2s beat Stourbridge 2s by 65 runs. Tony Douglas starring 9 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 37. Lovely little spell from Tony. Leaving Division 6 with Colwell at the top, 180 points, played 9, won 9, faultless so far. Keep it up, lads. And the bottom, Kiddie thirds, 44 points, Stourbridge thirds, 49 points, and a slight gap as you get into the middle of the table. And that is the time we can all have a breath and I can relax for a minute. We would normally do our Mr. Brightsider, but I think we're all in unanimous agreement that it's going to be James. His nightmarish spell, 1 over for 38. I think it's pretty difficult to argue with that one this week. So James, get in touch. We will reach out to you. We'll probably send some aid your way as well after that. Something to the club, because I'd be torn apart after that. But it can only get better, put it that way, mate. On to the part of the show where we wrap up any other business. Now, we've had an email. Bullow's been on. Bullow's back. He's a regular. we got a message this week. Jim got one before he went on holiday, saying we have a possible sided contender. This is from. This was sent to me from. Where are we? Joanne Bullock, so Joe Bullock. 2 weeks on from his match-winning innings batting with his daughter, Coombswood third captain Andy Price couldn't quite replicate his glory. He was dismissed for a platinum duck, which we've had hot debate and a bit of research working out platinum duck, but I think we settled on the fact it was the first ball of the match.
Yes.
In which case, not a good day for Mr. Price. No good. He got out first ball, and then his fellow opener, Mr. Matt Bullock, he was trying to get rid of all his thoughts. I think he probably thought it couldn't get much worse, but he was out 6 balls later with apparently, and we've got record here saying it's his first ever golden duck in a career spanning 30 years, which, if that's true,
fair play to him.
It's fairly impressive. I mean,
I'd take that.
I think you will. I think we've all had a few of those. But 30 years, 1 golden duck, bittersweet feeling probably. Could be worse though. Could be.
It's going to have to come at some point. Surely.
This is true. But yeah, she said big shout to Kamani Sexius. He is our overseas player from St Lucia. So a big shout to him.
Indies.
For sure. It gives you a picture, isn't it, of what Kamani's all about. But he's doing great things for everyone involved. So thank you for any other business, and as per usual, please get in touch. I'm going to do my best Jim impression. media@wccc.co.uk. Send in your best bits, the best lights, the low lights, the highlights. We want to hear about it all. What makes Worcestershire cricket quite so special? I think that is everything. We have one thing left to do, which is present you both with your amazing Lamb and Flag caps. Wonderfully put together by the folks at the Lamb and Flag, embroidered with your numbers on. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Thank you, Bryony. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Hopefully you enjoy it as much as Spencer enjoyed it.
I don't think that's possible.
No, true, by all accounts. But no, thank you so much both for your time. Best of luck with the rest of the campaign.
Thank you.
Hopefully fortunes change and things can get better. But yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll be back again next week. Jim will be here to restore normal order. But all for now, thank you very much for everyone here at Blood, Sweat and Pears.